In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to make a super easy to build raised garden bed for only like 35 bucks a piece. So this is a 2-foot by 6-foot garden bed, and I just made it, and it really just cost me like $35 in lumber, and it's pretty stable. This thing is pretty stable. Whoa. So let me get a good thumbnail. Ready? There used to be 2 trees here. I took them down, and I'm gonna make this area into a garden. So I went to Tractor Supply Company, way too expensive for their raised beds, way too expensive. So I'm actually gonna go to Home Depot, I'm gonna buy some wood, and I'm gonna build the raised beds myself. So I went to Home Depot, and there were like these circular raised beds. I didn't even want circular ones, but they were like $80, and they were like two feet in diameter. So instead of spending like, 160 bucks for 2 little dinky raised beds, I'm gonna go to Home Depot, probably spend a couple $100 on lumber, and with that I'll be able to build like a large raised bed section to, really produce more than enough vegetables for me and my wife. Okay, we made it here to Home Depot, and we're just here to get lumber, okay? I'm gonna try to not spend any unnecessary money. Okay, so I'm in the lumber aisle, and I'm looking for 2 things. I'm looking for 4x4 posts. That's what's gonna make up the corners, basically, of this raised bed. And then also some 2x10s or some 2x8s, honestly, whatever's cheaper. And I don't want anything pressure treated. So nothing pressure treated, because I'm gonna be growing food in this, and I don't want chemicals leaching into that food, which pressure treated wood has. So I'm gonna look around for that lumber. Okay guys, at Home Depot, the 2x6s are $7.70 a piece. So what I'm thinking is, they're 8 feet long. I'm gonna get one, I'm gonna cut 2 feet off of it. So I'll basically have a 6-foot side and a 2-foot side. Meaning that if I get 2 of them, I'll be able to make a complete rectangle. And then I'll stack 2 rectangles on top of each other, meaning I'll use a total of 4 of these to make 1 of the raised beds. And I think that'll be a decent depth, that'll be a decent size. And I think I'm just gonna start with 2 of these. So I'll need 8 total pieces. Okay, so the plan is we're gonna build these using 2x6s. So with basically just 2 of them, we're able to build the first base rectangle. And I kind of want it to be a little more deep. So we're actually gonna get 4 for 1 of them. So that's 1 of the raised beds, and we'll build 2 of the raised beds now. So this right here will be about the depth of the raised bed. So, basically a foot. There's 2 2x6s together. And then to attach them all together, we gotta get a 4x4. So let's go get that. Yeah, because I really just need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. And this should be all. And the most important part of a Home Depot run is a drink. So in total, all the lumber costed me around $75. The total was $77 because I got a very important drink. Alright, but yeah, basically $75 of lumber. I'm going to be able to build two garden beds, both of which are 2x6 feet and then 1 foot tall, because they're basically 2 2x6s stacked on top of each other. And I think that's kind of good, because also if there's a crack in the middle, there'll be a little more aeration, a little more aeration for the soil, which I think is good. I think that's important. It also will look nice. Okay, so I just arrived, not at home, but actually at the gym. So I'm gonna get a quick lift in. We're gonna do arms and shoulders today. And then after that, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna assemble this. I honestly think I can do this in a couple hours. I really just gotta make like 16 total cuts, literally 16 total cuts, and then just drill some holes and put in some screws. Okay, so we got our first piece of wood here. Basically what we got to do is we got to cut off 2-foot sections. So we're going to pull this in a little bit. That's good. And after we get this first block cut and we get this first 2-foot section, we can just use this as a guide. It's all perfect and squared up. All right, yeah, it's a little bit loud now. All right. Perfect. And what's not exactly? Just because we're going to be eating out of this. Sorry. Yeah, you can move. So now after that, what we can do is we can just use this block here as a guide. So we just put it like that, and then we're able to mark here because of this first initial 2-foot block, and then we just go right here. We get it exactly, push in. Get it exactly to our length we need. Perfect, here we go again. All right. All right, guys, so 2x6s are actually only 5.5 inches wide. So what we're gonna do is we're going to take our big 4x4 posts over here, and we're only going to be cutting them into 11-inch sections. So it's these 11-inch sections that are going to be going on all 4 of the posts. So I basically got to do like, what, 7 cuts or actually 8 cuts. Yeah, so I got to do 8 cuts for the 8 individual pieces. All right, because that's basically going to be the thickness of our raised bed. It's really only, it's 11 inches thick. It's not even that thick. That's fine. Okay. Now, we're going to bring this back a little, even further back. Even a little forward, Lily. All right, now we come. Okay, here we go. First cut. Okay, you see our little block here? We're just gonna get basically 8 more of these things, and then these will be, you know, the cornerstones of the whole thing. Okay, now we have our 8 4x4 pieces here that are 11 inches tall that will basically be thick enough for 2 of these to be side by side. Look at that. Isn't that nice and even? And this is basically the basis of our garden bed here. So this is great. And now we're going to take all the wood that we just cut and we're going to put it in the car and bring it to the edge of the property where I'm going to be making these raised beds. I also got all these screws that I used when constructing the chicken coop over here. I didn't actually construct this, I just like renovated it into a chicken coop. But anyway, these screws right here are going to be what holds this whole thing together. And they're basically deck screws. So, you know, exterior deck grade screws. This will be perfectly fine. Okay, don't hate on me for the Ryobi, okay? It works. Okay, so we got a Ryobi with a T15 drill bit, I believe. Alright, so now we're going to be building our raised beds. It's going to be very easy. We got one board. We're going to put it here. We're going to put it here. So these are our 2 baseboards right there. This and one like this. Oh. We go in. Okay. Okay, that's not going anywhere. That's not going anywhere. Here we go. Okay, that is nice and stable. Okay, I'm going to do a quick voiceover just to explain this a little more carefully because I did not really explain it that well in the video. But the basic way you're assembling this is you have your 6-foot pieces on the sides and your 2-foot pieces on the other 2 sides. And then you have your 11-inch long 4x4 blocks all around. And basically, you're sandwiching your 2-foot pieces in between the 6-foot long pieces, and you're attaching those together. You're screwing them together, and then you have the block right there, and you're screwing the boards into the block as well. So I do 2 screws to really sandwich the boards together, and then I do 2 screws on each side of the block to sandwich them both to the block, just to keep the whole structure very square and just more stable. And then after you do this once and you get the whole bottom layout done, you really just got to put the blocks on top and do the exact same thing you did underneath it again. And when you do this, you have your raised garden bed. So this is literally just like, a super, super easy thing to construct. You really just need a miter saw and a drill. You got a miter saw and a drill, and you can easily make this yourself. So if you're thinking of, doing a raised garden bed, again, just cut the 8-foot boards into 6-foot pieces and 2-foot pieces. Cut the 4x4s into about 1-foot-long thick pieces. Screw it all together. Wazam, shazam, there it is. I have officially finished both of the raised beds. And honestly, that was so easy. That was a very, very easy thing to build. And, the ground is not super level, so it's going to sit a little teetered. But that's fine. That is just fine. So I might have them just like this, honestly. If you guys wanted to, you could also get some boards and put them on the top here. That would just make it look a little prettier. And if you wanted to sit on the edge of it, that would work a little bit too. But honestly, this was super easy and literally just takes a couple of 2x6s and 1 4x4. You bolt it all together. Now you have a raised bed. So I'm not going to do any of the dirt work now or any of the planting because, it's still kind of early in the season. We might get some freezing days. But later on, stay tuned. I am going to fill these with dirt. Maybe going to put some sort of matting underneath them. I'm not sure yet, actually. And I'm probably going to build more. I'm definitely going to build more because this one turned out pretty well, and it's pretty cheap too. $35 each in lumber. So if I wanted 10 of them, 10 of these things, $350. That's a deal. That's a good deal in my book. Maybe I'll make 10 of these. I don't know yet, but that'd be pretty cool. So let me get a good thumbnail. Ready? Okay, that's good. Boy. So those are 2x6-foot garden beds. Look at the space we got here. Do you know how many of these we could have? So no joke, I might even start this season with 10. But if I wanted to, I could do 50. I could do a ton. We just have a ton of raised garden beds over here with tons of plants, maybe flowers and stuff. I don't know. We'll see what I do, but we'll start small. We'll start with 5 to 10, but I'm gonna make some more of these. But that's all for today. It's getting a little dark out and I'm getting hungry. So that's all for today in terms of the garden. All right, guys, it is now time for dinner. What me and Lily are having tonight are steaks. Just gonna season with salt and pepper. That's it. Give it a little rub. Okay. Let's get the gas going. There we go. Look at that nice, beautiful blue flame down there. Okay, so once that heats up a little bit, we're gonna put these fat cap that side first, because then the fat cap renders a little bit, and then we'll have some oil basically to cook them with. You ready?
You're supposed to get the water out.
Whatever. Oh yeah, fat cap side first. Kind of a fail. Steaks are all done, and they're resting now. They're pretty thin, so you really just gotta get a good sear on both sides and then just let them rest. Okay, I forgot to show you guys the steaks that I ate, because once I finished them, I just cut it up and ate it. It was delicious, but I'm here in the fish basement showing you some of the fish. So I think I'm actually gonna start listing some of these for sale this week. I'm gonna get rid of some of the more medium quality guys, the medium quality ones with the dorsals and the non-dorsals. we do have a good amount here. I'm gonna keep our little shark chews. I wanna grow our shark chews a little more. But I may sell some of these guys over here, but geez, look at how beautiful. We also got a common goldfish, little Frankie. Little Frankie the common goldfish. So what I'm gonna do now is I got some power sticks. If you guys didn't know, I have these available on lukesgoldies.com. I'm dropping some power sticks in there, and they're gonna eat that. So I got some more little baby ranchos in here. Gonna give them some power sticks as well. Just gonna give, and also I got some black moors. I got a lot of these black moors. I really gotta sell some of these guys off. I just have way too many fish. Even more black moors over here. Look at all these guys. So yeah, I'm feeding them lots of pellets. Feeding them lots and lots of pellets now. You can see it in their poop. But yeah, these pellets just basically sit. Oh, we got a lot of duckweed right there. They'll sit on the ground for a little bit and they'll start to get a little mushy, and they'll just eat them over time. And also over in this tank, we got Mr. Chunky Face 2.0. He's actually in the pot over there. Look at him. That's Mr. Chunky Face 2.0. He's grown a lot. But yeah, these guys that I have separate out in this tank are growing a lot faster than the others because it's so much less stocked. Whoa, that was way too much. I gotta get some out. Okay. Accidentally added way too many pellets. So I'm just gonna add these in here. My goodness, have you ever seen a dude with a poo that big? That's just insanity. Yeah, this is just crazy. On a goldfish this large, seeing a stream of poop that big, that's just that's definitely something new. And you guys see all the little babies in here as well? We got so many babies in there. Then we got a ton of babies in here. And we got even more babies in here. And then we got even more in here. Even more baby goldfish in there. And even more baby goldfish in here. It literally does not end. And we got a massive Bowser in here. A super massive Bowser in here. Look at this behemoth. I'm gonna put him up on here. Whoa! Wasn't that crazy, Balthazar? Wasn't that just crazy? Oh man, here he comes, here he comes, here he comes. And then also we got our brand new goldfish over here, our 2 dragon scales. Look at our 2 beautiful dragon scales. And then our Oranda. They're still in quarantine, but yeah, very cool colorations on them. Man, what the heck is your problem? What the heck is your problem? You're going crazy. You really want me to take you out, huh? You're going crazy, Balthazar. I'm also going to be giving these guys the anti-parasitic food again. It's been 2 weeks since their last treatment, so I'm going to begin a second treatment. Going to begin a second treatment to once again kill any parasites on them. Also guys, don't forget to get your Jill plushie. Look at our goldfish Jill over here. Or your Jack plushie. You can call it whatever you want, honestly. Your Jack and Jill plushie. Don't forget to get one of those. And don't forget to get your Mr. Cow plushie. But yeah, there's a lot happening in the fish basement. There's so many babies. I really got to put some up for sale just to lighten up my stock a little bit. Because I have simply too many. I have simply way too many. I cannot continue to grow all these guys out. It's just crazy.